Welcome back, everybody, to the World's Worst Fishing. I'm Chris Jones, and glad to be back. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus. A couple of things have been going on. The first week of July, well, the first like 9 days of July, we were actually on vacation, much needed family vacation. I was going to vlog a little bit. Left my camera in Tallahassee, so I have no footage from vacation, but it was amazing. And then the week that I got back, I had a small outpatient surgery. Let's just say things are a little sensitive. It's the frozen peas surgery. So I'm actually still recovering from that right now. So I'm moving kind of slow, but just bear with me. The show goes on. We have an exciting video. Let's take a look at what we're going to be doing today. Let's get into it. Here it is. Y'all might recognize this style mold. Josh is bringing back the 10-inch open pore Ribbontail worm in aluminum. So this is it right here. Nice and shiny, never been poured. And for the longest time I've been telling him, hey man, we really need to bring back a 10-inch Ribbontail worm mold in aluminum open pore style because of how popular, if I can find it, because of how popular and how awesome, right, the old Delmart mold is. So Del was kind of the original one to do this, and really he's kind of the OG of mold making in general in terms of creating high precision CNC molds for the home hobbyist. So a lot of this industry we can really owe to Del's vision. Unfortunately he passed recently. But a lot of his innovation led to this industry. So the original Del mold has been unavailable for a long time, so you have to buy them secondhand. Funny story though, this, to go into a little bit of history of the mold, this is the actual original version of this mold. Even though they look alike, they're very different, and I'm going to show you the difference here in just a second. And that kind of goes into why Josh has never wanted to make one of these, because he never thought this was a very good worm mold, which recently his opinion has changed, and now we have an excellent option today. What I do like is that the cavities are inline, right? Didn't mean to use my middle finger. The cavities are both inline here, which will allow you to line up striping or any other type of pattern that you want to put into it. The cavities aren't going opposite directions. So in just kind of going back to this style of mold, we have changed the layout for the better. Alright, so the first thing that you want to know about this mold is the price. $33. $33 for a 2-cavity aluminum CNC milled open pore 10-inch Ribbontail. Unbelievable value. Josh is on a quest to try to bring more value, bang per buck, to the customer, to encourage new people to get into the hobby without just having to murder their bank accounts, because times are tough. We all know about inflation and everything else going on. So again, here's the original version. Okay. Let's just kind of zoom in. A very shallow body cavity. There was really not a lot of meat there, right? Here's the Del mold as we know it today. Very different depth, okay? And we'll pour both of these to really show you. So this is the one that Josh had for a number of years. In fact, Josh has been in this hobby so long, he had the Delmart mold before it was the good Delmart mold. So this is the one that we all know now. It's got a much deeper body on it, and it makes an incredible worm, and that's the mold that I've been using to do my snakes, right? So there's some snakes, a couple sets of snakes there. And so now if you want to make some snakes, you have a good option. This one I think is just a hair deeper in the body, so the body is going to have a little bit more meat to allow for maybe a little bit more hook, larger hooks for rigging, but largely a very, very similar worm. You know, you don't really want to mess up a good thing. A Ribbontail's a Ribbontail. So with that said, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of get out some remelt and just kind of pour a basic color in all three, just to do a compare and contrast of the actual worms. And then we'll try to do something really cool in the new mold. All right, so real quick, let's just take a look at maybe just one from each mold. If I can get it started, I'll get it started from the tail. Yeah. Perfect. So there's the first one with the new AI right there. Yeah, looking good. Okay. Here's one from the, I guess, the current Dell, right? Okay. So if we look at the two body cavities here, right? If we just look at the depth, the new AI looks just, because the AI is on the bottom here on the left side. The body's just a little bit deeper than that one, right? And then here's the original. Look at the original. That was filled all the way up into that cavity. I'll show you. The cavity is full, right? Completely flat on the top, not underpoured, and there was just no body to it. So you can see Dell eventually came in and retooled this and reworked it and cut it to an appropriate depth. Josh just really wanted to stress having a little bit more meat in the worm, and I'd say he did a fine job. So that's really the only difference in the two is really just the depth of the body. So there you have it. Now let's try to do something crazy. And of course, a great mold is not complete without some great plastic. Dead On Plastics Black Bucket Swim Bait Blend works really well for these large worms, these big ledge worms. So we're just going to give it a quick little stir there. Yeah, looking good. So that's going to be what we do. Or excuse me, this is going to be the plastic that we are using for today's demonstration. All right, let's fire up some plastic, and we will meet y'all back. We're going to do some chartreuse tails, and then we're going to fill the body in with something else for our first demonstration. Can't get it to focus. That's an awesome sight. 16 cavities of 10-inch goodness. Can't wait to show you what we can do, or what we hope that we can do. Alright, let's add a little bit of chartreuse in there. Not a lot, because I want it to be fairly see-through. Yeah. Maybe a smidge more, maybe like 2 drops more. This is the Dead On chartreuse, and a lot of their pigments are very well concentrated, very highly concentrated. So it's kind of like hot sauce, just a drop or two will do, and you've got all you need. So there's our saturation. We'll probably go a little bit more, All right, we're just going to pour a few tails here, right up to about where that body tapers off. That's where we'll stop it. You can always pour the body first and then the tail section, but we're going to start with the tails. Oh, slight over pour. That's garbage, everybody. I should do better. Trying here. We are not 100% today, but no excuse. Okay. We're going to heat these molds later, which will actually fill in any gaps that you leave in the tail. That's the magic of thermal bonding. So that the mold fills itself in. Gravity fills it in. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing. Perfect. Alright, got them tailed up. Now we're going to fill them in with the color. Motor oil, chartreuse tail. Doesn't get any better. Alright, motor oil time. Let's shake her up real good. This is the original OG changeable motor oil from MF. Once it's gone, it's gone. The new formula is awesome, but it's a little bit different. So each time I use this, it's sort of special. Ooh, lots of moisture bubbles in that pigment now. That sucks. Alright. Oh, it's so awesome. Just look at that. Yes. Now let's do a quick little saturation test. See if we think we have enough. Yeah, we definitely have enough. Perfect. Alright, here we go. Alright, now we're going to fill in some body portion here. And obviously I'm not going to pour all 16 of these on camera at the same time. But I'll show you a couple of them here. Yeah. All the way up. Beautiful. There it is. And then any little gaps or imperfections or areas that might not be perfectly filled in, they will fill in once we fire up the molds. So we're gonna obviously put these on the griddle and get them hot to where everything is thermally bonded and blended, so that we have a structurally sound worm, and that always makes them look nice. And this is the advantage of having this mold in aluminum, is being able to do just that. Alright, they are cooking on the old griddle, and basically once they look like they're starting to gel together, we'll take them off, and once we do that, we will set them on some other molds here just to cool them down, and then we'll show you what they look like. Then we're going to move on to something a little more complicated. Alright, there it is. Now we got to take a few of these out quickly to avoid laundry noise. So let's just get one. Yeah. Uh-oh, here comes the laundry noise. Oh, look how good that looks. Laundry noise. Alright, let's get a few more out. Hopefully without any audio issues. Yeah. Look at that. There it is. The new AI 10-inch Ribbontail open pour in a beautiful yet classic, very classic color, motor oil chartreuse tail. A very, very well-known, well-loved color pattern in a big worm like this. Landon's out here, everybody. Yeah. There it is, y'all. Awesome, awesome. We're going to get the rest of them out, lay them out, show you everything, and then we're going to move on to one final color. We're going to, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it. There it is. Look at that. Nice, shiny new worms. Here's where they transition into the body. You can see the MF motor oils looking sexy as usual. That stuff is absolutely incredible. Just look at the effect that you get. Absolute stunners. And of course the chartreuse tails never goes out of style on a worm. There it is. There it is, you guys. How about that? You know, and that's just a really simple, just 2-color tail split. You know, obviously you can get really crazy with a mold like this. You know, for example, the snakes. But here's a simple thing that you can do. You know, you can do any pattern, of course. It doesn't have to be motor oil chartreuse. It could be Junebug chartreuse. It could be black grape up here and sort of a brown in the tail for like a PB&J. Black body, blue tail, black and blue, traditional stuff. Watermelon with maybe some pearl. Doesn't matter. But yeah, as you can see, the new mold wears it really well. Alright, so the PB&J idea sounded pretty good. And we can show off a little bit of capsuling technique. So I think this will actually turn out pretty good. Oh, just as I say, turn out really good. Look at what I done did. Alright, we're going to try this again. We're going to fill one of the cavities up, then dump it out, leaving that pretty capsule of plastic in there, which we can then fill in the body color with another color, just to give it a little bit of depth. All the way up into the tail. Perfect. Now we just dump it out. And this is Lureworks Black Grape pigment as the color base. Yep. Simple, just takes a little bit of time. You got to fill them up, dump them out, let it kind of set up there in the nose. That way you can take it out. But yeah, here's what we have. A nice black grape capsule. And then what we're going to do is kind of fill in that body with sort of a magenta color, which will give it a morning dawn look, maybe. And then in the tails, we're going to do sort of a light yellowy brown to kind of fill in the whole PB&J look. So this is where we're headed. And if we pull it off, I think it'll look pretty nice. All right, there it is. All of the capsules are in place. Check that out. Looking good, looking good. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and fill in the bodies with sort of that magenta color. All right. And then after we do that for all 16 worms, we will then mix up sort of a chocolate brown tail color. And hopefully we'll have something neat, sort of a morning dawn PB&J. You know, the whole idea and focus of showing off a mold like this is not to do the most basic thing, you know. That's why we're capsuling and layering, just to show you some of the layered effects that you can get. And this is just one simple way to capsule. You know, we could have drizzled in some effect. We could have poured some vertical bars, right? Maybe some dark splotches, and then capsuled our purple, then filled it in, you know, and made this really, really extravagant. But I just want to kind of drive home the idea of imagining more, because that's what we do with hand pouring. We can do more, we can imagine more. There are no limits to how you can put in place color to get a desired effect. So here we go. All right, so for the body color, we're going to do a white pearl base and then add a little bit of that magenta just to liven it up, purple it up a bit. Yeah. A little bit of white pearl there. This stuff's that's a pretty thick powder, so a little bit of that goes a long ways. So we're just going to kind of get that stirred in just to start. Stir it real quick, just so that we have an idea. And then a few drops of this to liven it up. So let's see where we can go with it. There's 4 drops. Yeah. We'll do a little bit more. See, I believe that's like 7 drops now. Yeah, just something like that as the filler for the body. Alright, let's fill in these capsules here. I darkened up this color just slightly. Just added a little bit of that black grape back to it. There it is. Just like that, it is filled in. Now we'll do the other one. Hopefully these come out looking good. I have no idea what it's going to look like. But we can get a hint here in just a second. Basically, how you can check, this is how I do my snakes too a lot, is just let it sit for a second, and then you can just pull up just the tip of the cavity and see what it's going to look like. Yeah, look at that. That's exactly what I wanted. See how it kind of fades from dark on top down to a lighter shade of purple. So you almost get 2 shades of purple right there in the side of the body, and that's from layering it. You know, you could also just pour this as a straight laminate, but this gives you more of a faded laminate, okay? If I was just to pour the purple and then this magenta, right, there would be a defined laminate line. Doing it this way, you get that smooth gradient of fade, and that looks incredible. Alright, time to fill in some tails. This is 20 drops of brown and about 3 drops of yellow. So sort of just a nice, what would we call this, milk chocolate there? Yeah, just a milk chocolate brown. A lot of people like to go a lot more yellow in their PB&J. I always tend to go with a little bit darker brown shade. Just, I guess that's just how my eye does it. But, you know, it's all PB&J at the end of the day. So let's fill this in. I won't show you all of them, of course, but just these 2. Yeah. And so there's kind of what we've got. And again, we're going to let temperature thermal blending fill in these little gaps here, which should kind of marry the two halves really nice and even. So there it is. Sort of a complicated, but I think going to be awesome version of a traditional PB&J color in a worm split tail. Alright, they have all been fired up on the hot plate and are cooling down. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these out here in a little bit, clean them up, just trim off any flashing, then we'll see how they look. Alright, we're going to try to do a drum roll here without hurting ourselves. Here we go. Drum roll please. Okay, let's just go ahead and pull one. So nice when they just come right out. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that nice? I love that subtle fade on that edge. Yeah. Can really see all the different hues that it has to offer. Alright, and then we'll get a zoomed out shot of it with the tail, of course. What do y'all think? PB&J, Morning Dawn, Morning PB&J. Yeah. Check that out. I love it. I love it, y'all. I absolutely love the way that the body color tapers from dark up top all the way down to that light belly. Yes. That is why we open pour, and that's why we do it in aluminum. Check it out. Yep. Alright, yeah, we took a gamble and it paid off. I had no idea how this was going to look, and I have to say, I am very pleased. I will absolutely be doing this one again and doing a lot more of them. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty sweet. I am really happy with those. Like I said, never done this one in a Ribbontail. I don't know that I've done this in a worm, period, this way. I've done a lot of Morning Dawn, and I've done a lot of PB&J and like creature baits, laminates and stuff, but never quite like that. And I'm kind of wondering why I've never done that, because this is awesome. What do y'all think? There it is. $33 for one of these. Awesome. You just cannot beat a deal like that for a worm like that. Sneak peek at one of the new releases. And I'll give you another hint. It's a whole series of molds that look just like this in various sizes. What could it be? You'll have to find out in the next video. Alright everybody, there it is. $33. Never looked so good. Go get them. And definitely tag me in your pictures on Instagram or Facebook. You know, once y'all start getting these molds, I want to see what y'all can do, because I think a lot of people really have a passion for big Ribbontail worms. And you know, this mold has been really hard to get. A mold like this has been really hard to get. And you know, there are some versions of it. I'm getting in the shade. There's some versions of it in silicone and composite, I think. And you just can't quite do the things that you can do in aluminum. So now you have the option, and you know, I can't wait to see some people do some gnarly snakes, and then some other things, some capsule worms. There's really no limit to it. So I'm really excited to see the whole bait community get a hold of this, and really let the imagination flow. It's a very inspiring mold, and again, good lord at the price. It's sort of like the AI jerkbait mold, the open pour. It's like a $39 mold, $33. You can't beat it, and you can do anything with it. So thank y'all so much for watching. We will definitely see y'all in the next episode. New molds again coming next week. And I'm going to go lay down. See you guys.